could be. Truly amazing, considering that thoughtlessly blustering brother of hers and her shallow, self-important mother. Under Hester's steady stare, Dulcie bashfully lowered her eyes. I know. I mustn't allow myself to speak so negatively about myself. Nor think negatively, Hester added. You have focused so long on your perceived shortcomings, Dulcie, that you quite overlook your lovelier aspects, and in the process you convince others to overlook them as well. Now, turn around, take a good long look in that mirror, and tell me what you think. Slowly, reluctantly, the girl complied. Hester caught her breath in anticipation. As usual, Madame Ulrey had worked wonders with the pattern adjustments Hester had requested. Into the most current pattern of pinch-waisted dresses, Hester had instructed her to add a wider and lower corsage, with drapery folds which did not descend completely to the waist. The bodice beneath it and also the skirt were fashioned with several gores piped at the seams, with a slightly darker shade of apple green silk. As she'd expected, it created an amazingly slimming illusion. Higher heels than normal added to that illusion. Dulcie's eyes grew huge as she caught sight of herself in the tailor's mirror. Her mouth formed a small, shocked O, and for a long moment she could not speak. Finally, she said in a reverential whisper, It's lovely." Hester's eyes danced with glee. "No, it's you who are lovely." Indeed, the dress was even more becoming than Hester had imagined when she'd first selected the fabric and patterns. Cream and soft apple green complemented the girl's coloring far better than white and mint. Dulcie's hazel eyes glowed as green as the gown, and her delicate coloring fairly bloomed. "With your hair styled this way and that little touch of makeup we applied," Hester added the last in a whisper, "you have become beautiful. Absolutely beautiful." "Oh!" That was all the stunned girl could say as she turned back and forth before the tall mirror. "Oh!" To Hester's satisfaction, a smile began to curve Dulcie's lips, first hesitant, then happy, and finally ecstatic. At the same time, the girl's posture straightened, and she relaxed her shoulders, as Hester so often reminded her to do. Dulcie had a beautiful complexion, not a spot or a freckle in sight. She had a lovely bosom and delicate, expressive hands, plus a beautifully shaped mouth. A longish nose, shortish chin, and a too-high brow prevented her being considered pretty. But Hester had had girls with far greater flaws. In truth, she'd rather work with a sweet, plain girl than with a pretty, petulant one. Hester folded her hands neatly at her waist. "I take it you like the dress?" When their eyes met in the reflection of the mirror, Hester saw the glitter of tears in her young student's eyes. Dulcie nodded, for she seemed unable to speak, but that was all right with Hester. Though she endeavored never to reveal any sign of favoritism, Dulcie was without a doubt the favorite of her students this year. To see her so happy gave Hester a thrill of her own. But enough of all this sentiment. It was time for the ball. All right, then. Hester pushed up the spectacles that were always sliding down her nose. "Here's your reticule and your fan. Now let's go show you off to your mother and brother, shall we?" George Bennet, Viscount Ainsley, clearly was struck speechless by his sister's appearance. He'd been impatient to depart for tonight's entertainments so that he could sample Lord Solmes's renowned selection of cigars and brandies. When Hester and Dulcie reached the head of the stairs, he was pacing the foyer, slapping his gloves against his thigh and complaining to his mother about tardy females and their endless vanities. But when he spied Dulcie, his expression